Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Oolong Passion, a uniquely fruity tea with tropical blends of oolong, passion fruit, blood orange, lemongrass, and coconut. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, King Raheem, what up?
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. How are you?
Oh, just living the dream. Glad to have you here.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and get on into it? Tell us a little bit about, who you are, what you do, where you're from. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah. Well, my name's King Raheem. I go by King Raheem, and I'm an artist out of Portland, Oregon. Been doing music for quite a while. I want to say 10 plus years.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And man, just a lot of ups and downs, man. It's been a long, windy road, as far as my music career goes.
I feel you. But let's start right at the beginning. What got you into music initially?
Initially, well, just hearing mom and pop just listen to all kinds of music, really. Mm-hmm. But I guess my introduction to music was really like soul, R&B and soul. Okay. With little sprinkles of hip hop and rap in there, Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have older parents, you know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Pops in his 70s, mom's in her 70s as well. So they listen to a lot of Boys to Men and stuff like that, and Luther Vandross and stuff like that. And when it came to hip hop, it was a lot of Pac. I was trying to think of somebody other than Pac because that's the only rap that was playing in my household, but there was sprinkles of other hip hop in there too.
No, totally. I mean, I think at the time it was present, but it wasn't quite presented on a lot of the medias and things like that. So it didn't.
Exactly.
In the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
Were they musicians at all, or were they?
No. Mom and pop were they're far from musicians.
Okay. Yeah. Just music appreciators, then.
Exactly, appreciators. Oh, yeah. More so on the soulful R&B side of it.
Hell yeah. And what was what were some of the earliest songs you remember hearing?
I know my first favorite song was California Love by Tupac.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, that was my first favorite song. The first song I can remember telling mom and pop yo, throw this on. I'm trying to jam out right now, So definitely California Love, my first favorite song.
Oh yeah, quality jam. Also one of my earliest introductions to Talkbox, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then for this next question, this is one that these two questions are foundation ones we check in with everybody on, but they're definitely a lot of fun. This first one, we ask it early, we ask it often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
First album I bought with my own money was Carter 3 by Lil Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the first project I bought with my own money, and I remember being super excited about it because I had never purchased an album before.
Yeah.
So I was just really excited, man, just being able to open it up, and how back in the day, the physical copy, it'd come with a dope ass poster and shit that.
Yeah, and all the lyrics were in the book.
Yeah, exactly. All the credit. I was the music nerd who did that shit. I would open it and look at all the credits and stuff that.
Yeah, see who had made them and compare it to other people later.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the first time I realized that certain film divisions, for instance, like had like music divisions as well, because I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing the Universal logo on that, and I'm like, oh shit, like they make movies, you know what I mean? And like just like being young and like naive and you know, ignorant to those certain things, and like kind
of like music didn't have those, like, you know how like when movies start that says the name of the
you know what I mean?
It's not like when a CD starts it says this brought to you by like, and also I think it's interesting even to see that there's like a whole, like how many people are involved in it, or like who's credited from like song to song as like a this and that. So I definitely get that. And just a little fun fact for the longtime viewers, you already know this, the first album I ever bought with my own money was The Carter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're kind of in the same vein there.
Yeah, we're connected there. That's what's up.
And then what was one of the first live shows you ever went to? That was like one you wanted to go to. So you saw the show was happening, you got the tickets, you went to it.
So I never went to a live show ever that I wasn't a part of.
Okay.
So like,
interesting.
I guess the first show you can say I've been to, which was only because I was opening up, was Kid Ink.
Okay.
Yeah, Kid Ink in Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah.
And I was an opener. I'd never like been to a show just on my own.
Interesting.
Just to go watch an artist. And I guess I don't even know if I would say that was an ego thing, but like I always was just like, I'm going to be the next guy, so what am I going to go watch this guy for? Like, you know what I mean?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What was the show with Kid Ink like? Like, how was that experience for you?
It was dope. It was a lot going on, obviously, because I was a part of it. So, like, I went to, you know, going to sound check and, like, checking out the stage and, like, you know, getting on the mic and seeing how you sound beforehand. And I just remember that whole process was like new to me, and it was like it was kind of surreal at the same time, because I'm like, man, like it was a venue. It wasn't like it was a big arena. Yeah. But it was a decent sized venue, you know what I mean? So just like stepping up on that stage and on sound check, this, you know, the room was
completely empty,
like,
so your voice sounds huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Baffled by people.
Exactly. It wasn't a big audience there yet. So just standing on the stage and just kind of like, I remember envisioning it in my head, like looking out at the empty rows and like just being like, this is gonna be full of people, like bunch of like cute girls jumping around and then like a bunch of dudes like with their drinks in their hand and shit like that. You know, I imagined it all in my head. And then when it actually happened and I actually did my set, it was like exactly like how I imagined it, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I'll never forget that day, you know? It was it was almost like a dream.
That, I mean, your first performance is always like, or I guess like your early performances are so memorable. They're so important. And it's cool that you were able to like visualize that and have it like really kind of come to it. And also, what a cool show.
Yeah, no, it was dope. It was dope.
Did you get to hang out with Kid Ink at all, or like were you in
not
kind of thing?
Not really. He kind of like when he came and performed, he kind of just was like up on stage, and as soon as he was done, he was just like, he was out of there, you know what I mean?
You know, I've noticed, especially because I like look at tour dates whenever anybody's coming here to see if I can like, you know, sneak them onto the show. Right. I've noticed that every Portland show is always followed the next day by a Seattle show.
And that's funny. That was I was on the Seattle show too.
Oh damn! So that way anyway.
Yeah. So like I basically booked it for both, you know. It was Portland and Seattle. So we ended up driving to Seattle and doing the show out there as well. So.
Oh, that's smart.
That's
actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it was dope. I called it my little mini 2-day tour.
Yep, the start of the PNW experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, I love that. And then to wrap up the foundation questions, do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Yeah, definitely. When I first heard my voice on a song, is probably when I was like, I'm gonna like really try to make this happen. Yeah, because like I knew in the beginning, I knew I could write good, because like I wrote my verse or like one of my first verses, and I would like rap it in my head, and I'm like, yeah, this is dope. Like this is dope. But I always had that like thought lingering in the back of my head, like, yeah, but what do you sound like? Like, what's it gonna sound like when you actually do it, you know? And then when I was finally able to record myself, I used to record myself on Audacity. It's a really old software.
I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah. And like I like compressed my voice and EQ'd my voice myself and whatnot. And then once I like was actually able to record myself and then like kind of learn the basics of making yourself not sound so distorted or making sure it's not all staticky when you listen to it. Once I like figured the basics out and I listened to myself and I was like, okay, you sound good, you know, like you sound good. The lyrics are good. At the time I'm super young. I'm like 13 years old. I'm like, I'm 13. I'll be famous before I turn fucking 21. Like, you know what I mean? And so, that's what really made me say, you know what, like, let me just go ahead and give it a try. You know, I was at the early age of like trying to figure out what I was good at, you know what I'm saying? So like once I figured that out, like, I'm like, okay, I sound good. I can write good lyrics. This is it. This is what I'm doing, you know? So I put all the other side things down. I was like skateboarding, shooting hoops and whatnot, and, you know, just trying different things. But once I like figured out this was what I was really good at, I kind of put everything else down and like focused in and really locked in on the music.
Oh yeah. I love that. I think it's cool that you were able to do a lot of it yourself for that moment too. Because like, you know, that there's something empowering about having control over the creation of your own stuff. I mean, you know, I'm a big advocate for like teams and people, and I know you work with you work with Frano and things like that now.
Shout out Frano from
shout out Frano. But like in the beginning, having like realizing you have the power to make something that is like your design. Yeah. It's the younger you can figure that out, I think the sooner it really becomes something you can actualize. So that's a really powerful moment.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No, I agree.
But now let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day. And we're going to get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
Okay, so it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but I used to go by the name Scotty Deuce. And it was kind of like I was young and I was just like, man, I want a dope ass rap name that people are like that'll really stick in people's heads. So I chose that at a young age, and then like I had a situation where I was put in a good position to release music and, you know, get my name out there to the masses, and I ended up coming back home because I was living in Los Angeles. I ended up coming back home and having a child. So like I settled down a little bit, and I even put the music down for a little bit. And once I got back into it and I decided I'm about to start releasing music again and, you know, try to give this thing a second go, I realized that I wanted to be like more authentic, and I wanted to my art to be kind of like a piece of me. So I really wanted to go by my government name, which is Malik Abdur Rahim. But I then thought like, let me just kind of go by an alias, you know, so I can kind of like separate the two, even though they're not really separate. It kind of is at the end of the day. I need to know when somebody's talking to me as a person or somebody's talking to me as an artist.
It's good to have a little bit of separation for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I went with King Raheem because, one, my name's Malik, and that translates from Arabic to English to king. And my last name is Abdur Rahim. So all I did was just cut the first part of my last name out and then the Raheem in there. So I just wanted to have it be like closer to my government, you know what I mean? Just so kind of it means more.
Yeah, there's still some you in it, but it still represents the music side of you.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's not just like, oh, that's a cool name, you know what I mean? It's something, it means something, you know.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about your writing process. And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. When you get inspired, so you're ready to make a track, what do you do to get a track started?
Okay, so somebody just asked me this. I just got back from New York, and I was recording in Platinum Sounds studio out there, and somebody just asked me the same question. The owner over there, and basically, so as of today, I'll have my producer Frano just start, like, every song for the most part that we make just starts with a like, you know, that
glorified metronome
or a BPM, or, you know, it'll just start from there. And then I'll, like, let them know what vibe I'm in right now. Like, right now I'm feeling like putting out like a hit, you know what I mean? I'm trying to put out something catchy, you know, something melodic or whatever. Or, hey, I'm feeling real grimy today. Like, let's do some real, like, hip hop kicks and whatnot. Let's do some boom bap.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever mood I'm in, I'll just let him know, and he'll go that direction. And then I'll just start with the or, you know, just like kind of find the pocket or the flow I want to do, you know what I mean? And then once I found it, once I'm like really vibing and my head's knocking and I got the stink face on, and I'm like, okay, that's the pocket I want to go in. I'll just like go from mumble and like just insert words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And it's like sometimes I'll like write it on my phone. Sometimes I'll just like memorize it or whatever. Just kind of like it just depends on the day. But like I like to make my music on the spot. You know, I don't like going home and then getting the beat and then writing to it and then going to the studio. For me, at least personally, it never comes out the way it was when I wrote it at my house. You know what I mean? It always is like off a little bit. I don't know why. That's just a personal thing, I guess. So I really like just doing the music on the spot. So it's all like just organic. Like I have nothing to compare it to at that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
it's
like
going to kind of live in that space.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's pretty much my process.
Oh yeah, I love that. And then once you get a track finished, so not so much like released and put out and such, but like once you've finished writing, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable performing?
Like on stage or like in the mic on the booth? Yeah.
So after, like I said, once you've gotten it to where you're ready to perform it, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable performing it?
Performing a record. I guess it kind of depends like on what type of record it is. Like I find it easier to perform. Like I can perform a record as soon as after I record it. If it's like in like a grimy hip hop, like if that's the type of genre I went for, you know what I mean? Like if it's like some hard, like energetic type of record, then I don't really need any time to get comfortable performing that. It's more so the records that are like geared towards like the females, or when I get into like a R&B type of pocket, you know what I mean? That I might need like more time just to get comfortable performing it. I guess because like I came from hip hop, you know what I mean? I came from rap. I came from like battle rap and stuff like that. So like that's in me, you know what I mean? It's in me. Yeah. So like I don't really need to practice, you know, not to sound like a fucking cocky asshole or nothing like that. But
no, I mean, once you've done it a handful, I mean, that's kind of the running bit too, is like once you've done it so much to like get it put down to begin with, and like go, especially with the way you go through your process, you've definitely done it a handful of times. Yeah.
But like one of those like R&B records or more melodic records, I'll need more time, because that's something I had to teach myself how to do, like, because I've always been a writer, not to go off topic, but I've always been a writer. So like I kind of taught myself how to hold notes and like fluctuate my voice, you know, in different ways. So like that's something that I'm still learning, you know. So I'm not as 100% comfortable with performing those type of records as compared to like, you know, a hip hop or just like a straight up straight up rap energetic record, you know.
No, I totally understand. And I apologize, my notes didn't make it to my iPad over here. I want to talk about some of your music, so I'm just going to pull it up so I can put it right in front of me.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
No, I totally get that. And actually, I want to talk about some of your music now. That's why I was trying to get it prepped here. Because, you just recently, I know you put out Danger not too long ago. That's your most recent single. But I actually want to talk about your most recent album, Locked In. Or at least that's the one that I saw was most recent on.
Yeah, that is the most recent one, yeah.
And I got to point out, like, I note the consistency. Like, all the tracks kind of hit, and there very much is this, like, element of R&B in it. Like, it doesn't feel like an R&B album.
Right.
It's definitely not, but there are so many moments where there are just this R&B presence in all of it. And I think it's really interesting how you can just kind of seamlessly blend in and out of the two. And I mean, like, all the beats were definitely super solid. Were they all Frano beats?
All Frano beats.
Hell yeah. It felt very, very much so.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it was cool that it was an entirely collaborated album with Infant Scanless.
Yeah. That's my artist, Infant Scanless. Yeah, shout out Infant Scanless.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
No, that was definitely, I thought that was real. I always think it's cool when you see albums that are like multiple artists all the way through. It just really gives it this kind of energy. And I mean, obviously, they like, I've already said the bit about the consistency, but one of the tracks I thought really stood out to me was Showboatin'. That was a lot of fun. Just as a person, I really enjoyed it. The hook was really catchy. It had that like G-funk synth lead, which is definitely like a Frano thing for sure.
Yeah.
But I like how you sung the like in the chorus. I can't remember the cadence now. I apologize. But how you would say "came up." How it just has this,
because I came up.
Yeah, it had that like very like it's like a twinge of an R&B inflection, but it was still very in the pocket.
Right. I appreciate that. Yeah, that like kind of that's been like on a lot of my records, man. Like just like little hints of like R&B or like you said, voice inflection that just that kind of, I feel like it elevates a track to me. You know what I'm saying?
Having those musical moments, like they're always going to catch people. The melody is so integral for like retention. People are much easier, especially in like songs that they haven't heard the first time or until the first time. Like when there is a musically sung element, it grabs people so much more. But also, it's just fun. You know
exactly.
Like the verses are where you're supposed to hit the lines. You know what I mean? But in the chorus, sing it a little bit, make it catchy. There's nothing wrong with that. And it just it shows, like I said, a little bit of like kind of your background. Like you said, you grew up on so much like soul and R&B and things like that. So it's cool that it has just permeated your sound without it just being the only element of your sound.
Yeah.
And that I think really diversifies your experience.
Right. And like when you hear beats like that, like I don't know if you remember, but like I can hear it in my head, like the little it's got the little twinkle in it, like the little ding ding.
Yeah.
Like it's got that in the beat, You can always like kind of tell what pocket or like what kind of cadence you're gonna use just off hearing the beat, because like me being somebody who like can go from just like straight rap, to just like to melodic to just straight up singing or whatever. It like I know when to use those certain inflections. Like if I just hear a straight heavy kick with some 808s, I'm like okay, like nah, I'm not gonna sing on here. I'm gonna be just straight up rapping on here. But like when you hear the little twinkle out I just mentioned, like it just like something goes off in my head where I'm like, yeah, I gotta stretch these words out, or I gotta flex my voice this way, or you know what I'm saying? I just I already have that preset in my head depending on what what beat it is.
No, totally. And I mean, even past that, like like I said, that beat in particular, like I said, felt more on like the G-funk side, but all of the beats, even though they were definitely, similar by creator, they all have a little bit of a different feel to them. And I think you really kind of leaned into the tone of each track versus trying to make tracks that all kind of fit under just what you do.
Right.
And that really stands out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious to know, what is your favorite song to perform?
Man, good question.
And I mean, obviously, I assume you like performing all of them, but what's
Yeah.
it's just got that extra little moment where you just have to lean into it every time.
So I just performed in New York, and I performed a couple of unreleased songs. So it's not like I'll be able to tell you which song and you'll be able to like go search it on Apple Music. But I got a big reaction from a song that I'm releasing soon. It's called Overnight. I got a really good reaction from that and from the crowd, and Danger also. So my set was I only did 2 songs. It was the Overnight, and that's because I was shooting that video while I was out there. So the video's coming soon.
Hell yeah.
But I did Danger right after that one, and like a lot of people who, people are going to come out, if they fuck with you, they're going to come up to you like after your set and be like, hey, I liked your set or whatever. A lot of people were like mentioning Danger. They were like, what song was that? Like people were giving me their phones and like, you pull it up. Like I want to download it. So that's another a good one that I think, I performed that like only a handful of times, but I feel like, as I do more, shows and as the summer goes on, because this summer I'm making a whole lot of moves, trust and believe. But I feel like that's going to be one of my favorites.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But as of right now, right now, that one, Danger and Overnight are probably like my favorite ones to do.
Hell yeah.
Best reactions.
And actually talking about some of your newer music that hasn't come out yet, looking at your most current sound, so the stuff you're working on at the moment, the stuff that hasn't come out, what are some of the characteristics, like the descriptive attributes of your sound that you enjoy?
I guess we just kind of spoke on it, but just like the way that like I can kind of that I like go in and out.
Okay.
Like it's
so even in your newest stuff, like that's still super prominent.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Because like I don't me personally at least, I don't think I've heard somebody who like can give you like real bars, not just like, okay, he's decent, like can like really give you like real bars and then jump off and like give you like a crazy melody that's just going to be stuck off in your head and you're not going to be able to get it out, and then back into some real bars and then back into some like Eminem rapping fast and shit like that. I'll every track, especially like depending on the beat, like I feel like it's like a showcase, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't jump on the record and I'm like, okay, this is the flow, this is the rhyme scheme I'm going to use throughout the entire track. Like I'm always like it's like almost like I get bored with flows, like, you know what I mean? Like I'll write 4 bars and I'll be like, I'm not going to just keep going how I was going. Let me switch it up right here and do 4 bars of a completely different flow. Like I just love experimenting, man. Like when you've been doing this type of stuff for so long, which I have been, like it's easy for you to just get bored. Like, oh, all I do is fucking rap bars all day and fucking just come up with these crazy fucking metaphors or whatever all day. You just get bored with it. You're like, well, how can I flex my voice like this on here? How can I make this sound? Like, how can I like flip this fucking beat on its head and like give you a cadence that you wouldn't even expect for this song? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love being experimental. So
yeah, hell yeah.
I guess the short answer to your question would be just like my experiment. Being experimental more with the track, you know what I'm saying? That's
diversifying each of the spaces.
Yeah, exactly. So
I love that.
That would be it, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. And then for this next question, this is probably the densest question we're going to have in the interview. But we've talked a lot about your experiences, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
I would say it's a lot. It gives a lot back to me. So it just automatically hearing your question, it just makes me think back to like when I first picked it up, and it's like I was just a young kid who, like I said, was trying to find his path, trying to find his way. And then once I found out that I was good enough at music, it gave me that. It gave me confidence, and two, it gave me assurance. And I knew that this is what I was gonna do. I knew it was what I was gonna do and what I was passionate about.
Sounds like it gave you purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. It gave me purpose, man. It gave me a clear cut vision, like this is where I see, even to this day, like I've been doing it 10 plus years and I still to this day don't think I've reached my purpose. I haven't reached my purpose because I haven't made it in the music the way I would want to make it. You know what I mean? So every day waking up for these past 15 or however many years, I've woken up and I've had that in mind. I've woken up and I've been driving toward that in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's today I'm going to go record one song, or today I'm going to go travel to New York and meet with these label execs and see, what they can do for me. Or it's waking up and being like, okay, I got this video to shoot today, or I got this show, or I got this interview to do today. It's giving me drive and it's giving me purpose. And being able, you are ex musician.
I still do music.
Okay, you're a musician, so like it being able to balance everything, because I mean it's never just you're a musician and that's it.
Yeah.
Me personally, I have a kid. I know you have you're juggling 100 other things, and it just like the fact that you always find time to do the music. It's like that in itself is like you're just so appreciative of it, because it's like, man, no matter how down bad I am, no matter how low on money I am, no matter what type of what's going on in my life, like I always find a way back here to music, and it always gives me purpose. So yeah, that you're right. It gives me purpose.
Oh yeah, I love that.
The best thing it gives back to me for sure.
Oh yeah. And then to wrap up the middle portion here, what are your goals with music? Like, what do the next steps look like? Like, where do you want to take this from here?
Well, the goal always, since I started, was to be the number one. Pretty much, I mean, everybody's goal is to be number one. But like seriously, like I want the longevity. I want to be. You can't walk down the street without hearing one of my records. I want to put Portland on the map. You know what I mean? And I want people like from I want the execs in New York to come to Portland, because they're like, man, there's so much fucking talent in Portland. Like, let's go out there and check it out. Like, I want to put Portland like in a space where we have a sound, and like people are traveling here because they're like, oh, this is where King Raheem's from, and this is where Infant Scanless is from, and they want to come see these landmarks, fucking downtown Portland or whatever the fuck, go to Voodoo and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to kind of popularize where I'm from, and while at the same time just like kind of like creating, like just being dominant, you know, just being straight up dominant to where everybody knows who I am. If you're going to mention hip hop, rap, or just music in general, you're going to mention King Raheem. That's basically where I'm trying to go with it.
No, I love that. And I share the same sentiment with this show in general. It's just like, showing, the space for now, like the people in the area for now, but also eventually just kind of everywhere that there are people here that are doing the thing, making it happen.
Yeah.
So I could definitely stand behind that for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. But now let's move on to some hypothetical questions.
Let's do it.
And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well.
Okay.
This first one's super straightforward, though. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
So it doesn't have to necessarily be an artist?
No, it could be anybody.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, then then there's a larger people to pick from. Probably. I'd probably say Beyonce, man.
Hell yeah.
I'd probably say Beyonce. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, not that needs explanation, but how would you want to work with her?
I'd probably want to do okay, I would either want to do a hip hop record with her singing on the hook, or I'd want to do a what do you call it? Why am I blanking right now? Is it a duet? Yeah, I think duet. Yeah, or I'd want to do a duet with her. One of the two.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
That'd be crazy.
Hell yeah. I mean, King Raheem and Queen Bee. It makes sense.
Right, exactly. There you go.
Hell yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Local artists. There's shout out Vari. I want to work with my guy Vari. I don't know if you're familiar.
Not off the top of my head, but I should be. So everybody at them in the comments. Let's make sure to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Vari. Salute.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a real dope artist, man. Out of North Portland. You know, his brother, Northside Tego. We got some shit we done worked already. But his bro, you know, Vari, we haven't gotten to do anything yet. So
hell yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. No, we can definitely make something happen.
Yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere. Where would you want to perform?
I feel like I got a little bit of recency bias because I just came back from NY, but I'm thinking Madison Square Garden. But like, I feel like my answer, had I not just came back from there, would be Dubai. And that's just because I've never been.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go.
You know, that's not the only time that answer's been said, but it's still not a constant one. But that, like, the experience there, I've heard, is always just one of those, like, it's outside of this world.
Right, yeah. No, I've never been. I've only heard stories. I've talked to people who have been.
Yeah. And
even their stories are just like, they're like, yeah, it's a different place, man.
I think they even have something that can control the weather.
Really?
Yeah, like don't quote me that it's Dubai for sure. Somebody put in the comments where it actually is, but apparently they have something where, like, they will send, like, when they see certain weather patterns happening, they can send planes up that will, like, add water to the clouds or, like, reduce they have stuff to, like, decide what the weather is going to be like, and not just all sun all the time. Like, you know, stuff needs water to live. Yeah. So there's actually, like, if they're not getting a lot of rain at a certain point, they can go and make some when the conditions are met.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. So definitely that place is just out of this world as far as, like, that. And I've heard going there, you can just get paid a ton of money just because you're there.
I've heard that too. I'm not sure how true that is, but I've heard that.
Yeah. So definitely when you go there, come back and tell us how it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. I got you.
Oh, yeah. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have put out an album yesterday, or they could have not put out an album in 100 years. Who would you want an album from?
There's easy answers that I just have ready for that, but like, I'm really trying to think should I go with those answers? Because I mean, off the top of my head, I would say Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
but like, I feel like there's, like, a sleeper in my head that I'm not thinking of. Like,
no,
you know
totally.
what I'm saying? But definitely Michael Jackson, though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, somebody else has said that before, and I followed it up with, I think a Michael Jackson album post-COVID would have solved so many problems.
Yeah.
Like that would have just hit so differently.
Yeah.
I just because you were saying, like, soul and R&B and stuff earlier, I would love another Bobby Caldwell album.
Bobby Caldwell?
Yeah.
Tell me a song that he's...
He did What You Won't Do for Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That song that Pac sampled?
Yeah.
You heard his version, Do for Love?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a moment too.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and September?
Between now and September, album for sure, or EP rather, for sure. not a like locked in date yet for when I'm putting it out, but I would say before early summer. Early summer for sure. Yeah, so album. I'm gonna be releasing singles in between time. So lot of new music, man. A lot of new music. I just went to New York and met with some execs, and that was one thing that the advice that they gave me was content is key. Like
putting out some new stuff.
Yeah, he said keep releasing. Don't just sit on the music and just have a vault full of like fucking gems, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's like, just put that shit out as much as you can. So that I took that and I'm gonna run with it, man. I'm gonna just release. I'm just gonna release everything, man. Everything's fucking recorded. I don't need to touch another studio for at least like a few months. You know, I have plenty of music, you know, so
yeah.
I'm gonna be releasing a lot of, that's all. Just releasing a lot of music, recording a lot of videos, album, and yeah, like there's a lot to be looking forward with King Raheem.
Hell yeah.
This summer for sure.
Definitely looking forward to all of that. For this next one, go and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at King Raheem, FRFR, or you can find me on Facebook, just King Raheem, KINGRAHEEM. You can find me at TikTok, King Raheem, and YouTube at That's Heem, THASHEEM. And just follow up. I'm also on SoundCloud, King Raheem. And come fuck with me. I'm gonna be dropping a lot of music, a lot of great music, classic music. So stay tapped in with me. Shout out Frenno from the North. Shout out Bossa Nova. Shout out Ra. Shout out the whole gang, man. Shout out Infant Scanless. Y'all know what time it is.
Hell yeah. Well, usually this is the point where I say, do you have any other plugs or shout outs or anything? But you already took care of that.
I think I got it all out.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. All right, now we've got one last question to go.
Yeah.
But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Go ahead.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to you, the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's like a deep cut. Not a lot of people know it, but it's one you think everybody should know.
First thing that comes to my head, man, was this album called Ho 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 by RuPaul. And
okay.
Yeah. It's a little different. Coming up, man, my mom used to she used to like just bump this album. And I was a kid, you know, I was a young kid, and like the Grinch movie with like Jim Carrey had just come out at the time and shit. So I was like, oh man, I fuck with the Grinch, you know?
Yeah.
And she used to play this song called Mr. Grinch, or You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, off that album. And bro, it's got like a crazy bop to it.
Yeah.
Like it's really like, it's a really good song. Like I had no idea who sung it, but it was like, it would be bumping and it's like, Mr. Grinch.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Like, I'm like, okay, this shit kind of goes crazy. And then I looked at the album cover and it's three guys dressed in drag. And I'm like, this is, I don't know. I'm liking the music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah. Well, that's
kind of like the most like obscure music, or like music that people probably wouldn't expect me to.
I was gonna say that's definitely one of the more abstract answers we've ever gotten to that question. So that's a really fun one. Thank you for sharing it. I'm definitely gonna go check it out as well.
Yeah, you should. Mr. Grinch, dog. That's a
hell yeah
joint. Yeah,
hell yeah. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm King Raheem,
and we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Peace.
That's a wrap. This is not a podcast. This is a show. Keep jamming.